I'm going to actually hand the baton to Braden Connor, who runs our human resources here in town. He and Charlie Jesse, our town attorney, somewhat worked on this today, and the town board, the three of us here tonight, are going to consider doing a resolution tonight to set a public hearing for 2 weeks from tonight, March 28th, right here in this boardroom. It'll be published in the Webster Herald's Wednesday, March 20th edition. The public hearing would be to consider changing a part of the town code that has to do with the residency of the town engineer position. Brayton, Charlie, if you do want to give any other description to this?
Just the board resolution contains the justification, but as the board will probably recall, I was here 29 days ago talking about reporting to the board about the recruitment efforts for town engineer and the retention of a contingent fee recruiting firm, and that has brought us success, and we have a verbal confirmation from a highly qualified candidate, but who already lives in a town in Monroe County, but that is not the town of Webster. And having been recruiting for this position for 8 months, I feel comfortable coming to this board to ask for a residency waiver for this position. The board authorized a local law 4 years ago for a temporary residency waiver, and this would make it a permanent residency waiver. And I can answer any questions that board members may have.
I don't have any questions. We talked about it when you were here before, how challenging it's been and all of the things you've tried to find a qualified candidate for the position. It's a very important position. It's much needed right now. So it makes a lot of sense to waive the residency requirement if you have a qualified candidate, so we can get that position filled.
Jane?
Hopefully, that individual will love Webster as much so they can move here permanently.
Maybe at some point.
Now, just to clarify too, we really had already waived, as Braden pointed out, this is changing it from what was effectively a temporary or 6-month waiver to a permanent waiver.
Yeah, like I said, tonight we're just setting a public hearing for 14 days from now, so there's no real decision-making being done tonight. It's just queuing up for a decision. But two things that I'll say: if Brayton and or Charlie came to us back on August 1st, a couple days after our beloved town engineer Mary Harrington moved down south, if they came to us with this proposal, I'd be like, no. Go out and do the process of recruiting and posting for a town engineer.
And we wouldn't have, because
No, you wouldn't have.
it's a legitimate public policy decision, and I would only bring it forth when we have documented evidence of recruitment difficulty.
Yep, and I mean, that has been very documented in this boardroom, right up through when you said, what, 29 days ago, or whatever, that, look, we said to the board, this is not a Webster problem, this is actually it's pervasive, and we need to think outside the box, and we looked at recruitment firms and whatever. So it makes sense to me, based on what we've been through, to do this, or to consider it, and I guess we'll see what the public hearing says. Maybe there'll be people and things that come in that we hadn't thought of. It's not a fait accompli, nothing ever is. Second thing, I gotta say, and I hope this doesn't hurt any negotiation of your offer and acceptance that you're doing with this person, Brayton, but we had queued that interview up with our 5-person or 4-person committee for this person. Is it 5? I think we had slotted an hour. It was a 2-hour and 15-minute interview. I was very impressed. And so I think were everybody that was on that committee. So I'm very excited to see if we can get this person into the fore of being our town engineer. It would be great. So, any other comments or questions? Is this what you, oh, sorry.
Congratulations.
Not yet.
Is this a plan to plan?
I think it's an exception.
Is it? I'm gonna make a motion for the Webster Town Board to schedule a public hearing to amend the Article 6 of Chapter 56 of the Webster Town Code permitting a town engineer to reside anywhere in Monroe County or in an adjoining county within the state of New York, and to publish the announcement of that public hearing in the Wednesday, March 20th, 2024 edition of the Webster Herald. And said public hearing will be at 5:30 p.m. on Thursday, March 28th at the Vanningen Town Courthouse here in Webster.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye?
Councilwoman Wynn?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.